we're getting set up here today, I wanted to give you a little bit of an intro into the CPaaS industry, who we are, and who's playing with us today in the showcase. So just a quick self-introduction. My name is Kevin Netterkoff. I am the managing partner of the CPaaS Acceleration Alliance. We've done this special partnership with CCA for this 1 hour special session, and so we appreciate everyone participating and being with us here. First of all, I think CPaaS has come out in every one of our sessions so far. It's clearly one of the key drivers of next generation services that is an option and a choice for us as CSPs. You're going to hear the word CPaaS a lot. CPaaS, though, really is the technology base. The first lesson that I share with any sales team when we do training about selling CPaaS services is never use the word CPaaS. Really what we're talking about is customer experience. How do we engage customers? CPaaS is the technology in the back office that enables that to happen. And we're in an exciting spot. CPaaS customer experience is the fastest growing sector of our industry. We're going to go from about a $15 billion number last year to about a $30 billion number in the next 4 or 5 years. That is extreme growth that all of us in this room can participate in. I think one of the areas that's really interesting as we look at the growth and why this is so relevant, I think, to many of us in this room, is that we're going to be starting to see the shift from large enterprises driving this revenue to small and medium-sized businesses. And so that's where you're going to see a lot of this growth. You can see here some of the statistics that we're sharing, but about 43% of small businesses, SMEs, are starting to look at next generation services. A lot of us are selling UCaaS into those same customers. So how can we bring CPaaS into that environment? We're also seeing a dramatic change on the number of vendors in the space. So as the CPaaS Acceleration Alliance, we work with CSPs and vendors to help build a community around this new growing part of the industry. And what used to be really just 2 of us, my background, I ran all the commercial business at Telestacks before we were acquired by Mavenir. So it was kind of Telestacks and Candy that were pushing this message out. We now have probably 12 plus vendors that you can choose from as a new technology partner. Microsoft and Ericsson, 2 huge companies, are now jumping into this space full speed ahead. So the market opportunity is huge. That's why we wanted to make sure and kind of pull this special event together as part of the session, is to kind of share that piece of it. I mentioned briefly, we launched the CPaaS Acceleration Alliance back in October. We're about 3-4 months old now, but the response has been amazing. We found that we need to build a community between the service providers that are out there, the technology providers. We've had analysts tracking the space. We've had a lot of media companies working with this, but we haven't had a place to kind of come together as a group. And so that was our motivation behind starting the Alliance. And we're excited to have this partnership with CCA and work together and kind of bring that to the forefront here today. So if there's anyone that's interested about that, obviously we can talk about that later. But today is really all about the use cases. So I think too often at these conferences we talk about technology and different things. We wanted to show today what things are being sold and used that are next generation services. So we're doing this as a challenge, okay? So everyone in the audience, and also we're live streaming this session across Evan's platform, on our CPaaSAA.com website. I think Doug, your telecom reseller, is also streaming this. So we would invite everyone to hit the QR code here. That will download just a simple web app. And inside that web app, you'll have the 4 contestants. And then you'll have the different categories that you'll be able to judge them on. So hopefully that QR code is working. If not, you can look at one of our LinkedIn posts, or Evan, I think, is probably reposting the QR code online as well. And so that'll give you an opportunity to participate. Working? Excellent. All right. I've got another couple of screens that'll pop up in a minute, so if you haven't gotten it, you'll still have a chance in just a moment. So I wanted to first of all introduce our contestants. We opened this up to a number of different parties, and these were our 4 finalists that we chose to work with today. So first of all, we have Adnan from Radisys, who will be presenting. He's in the back of the room. Maybe I should do this in order. So we're going to start with BroadSource. Hayden from BroadSource will be our first contestant. He'll be followed by Braidio. They were planning to be here. They had a big customer in Dubai said, I need the executive team here tomorrow. The team is there in Dubai. So they did send over a video response. So you'll get to see their offering. We're going to disqualify them from the winnings, but you'll at least get exposure to their really cool application. That'll be followed by Radisys with Adnan doing a really cool voice application. I think you're going to find very innovative. And then we'll close up with Vonage. So what we'll do is we'll turn the time over to each of the contestants. They'll come up, set up. In between that, the judges will be giving some American Idol AGT type feedback.
Simon.
And working on that. So the categories, just so you know, when you open the app up, we're going to be judging them on 5 overall categories. Innovation, ease of deployment, integration, so think omni-channel, think about APIs or other third-party systems you might be integrated into. Commercial relevance, that's a big one that we wanted to make sure and put forth. Then obviously the overall presentation. I think everyone knows our judges. They've all been on stage, I think, already this morning. So we don't need to spend any more time on them. So what we'll do is we should have the audience totals real time. In between each participant, we'll flash the most recent results. And then what we'll do is we'll announce the ultimate winner tonight on the dinner cruise. All right. There are $15,000 worth of prizes on the line for the winner.
Wow.
Okay.
Hey, Mike, I like you, man.
All right.
Right down the wine I like.
So with that, then what we'll do is we'll ask each participant, contestant to they'll hook up at the podium here and give us their presentation. All right. Hayden, you are up.
Thank you. Where's my live demo guy? Dag Peak, where's he? Is he in here? So Dag Peak has a history of doing this shit. Not well. Maybe he was actually the turn to shit fairy. Let's see how it goes. All right. So we're going to do some live demos of an application that we've launched as BroadSource. My name's Hayden Faltine. I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called BroadSource. We do a lot of work in helping service providers innovate and power their collaboration clouds. And today what I want to do is to bring to you a CPaaS application that we've launched with a number of service providers. It's in the area of security. It's a CPaaS security cloud application that we've launched. It's in the area of PCI compliance. And think of the demo I'm about to show you as the combination of fintech meets telco, meets UCaaS. And the ability for us to be able to secure phone calls, the millions of phone calls that are running around on your UCaaS networks that contain credit card information. And with PCI DSS compliance from Visa and MasterCard and others coming hard down on merchants, we see this as an unbelievable opportunity to deploy a mass market application for service providers to be able to differentiate their UCaaS offerings and to move revenue from the financial credit card payment industry towards the UCaaS revenue stream. And we'll take you through all of those things in a minute. So let me unlock my computer. Let me try and get my screen up. Let me go through a couple of slides quickly. How does that look? So, this is an application that we've developed that is aimed at a service provider who has a B2C customer base, large franchises around the country who take a lot of direct interactions with consumers. So think of your large franchises in automotive, in medical clinics and the like, where every day their staff members are taking credit card payments, but not within the context of a call centre environment. So think of receptionists in medical clinics. You know, think of mechanics inside a Goodyear dealership who's just about to take a credit card payment for $1,000 worth of new tyres. And so we're targeting kind of a long tail, if you like, in a very, very simple interaction between the customer and the merchant. But before I do that, who in this audience will be prepared to hand over their credit card details to a gentleman like this? Anybody? Not one person, Joe, not even your son. Right? He didn't even raise his hands. So we know as human beings there's an issue here, that often we run around the world handing over our credit card details to people we don't even know. We might like them, but we don't know what they're going to do with those details, right? And so what we've developed is a technique to be able to combine the power and leverage the APIs that exist inside the UCaaS environment. Take the APIs that exist in unified comms and combine them with the APIs that exist within the financial markets, those payment gateways that millions of websites are using today to perform financial transactions. So combine those two assets, deliver them via a CPaaS application which has infinite scaling, which is built based on APIs, and offer that as an API to the developer community to embed the ability to secure a phone call real time in a unified communications environment for merchants in travel agencies, in very, very large multinational hospitality membership schemes, for example. So this is about a combining of capabilities across existing technologies, reformatting it, rebaselining it into an economical way to secure phone calls in non-call centre environments. Office accounts teams, retail points of sale. We all know that every once in a while we get asked that question, what are your credit card details? We want to make a deposit for something, we want to put something aside. Massive risk to merchants, to business. The exposure to them when their staff take card details by phone is enormous. Their cybersecurity insurance premiums are going up, their cost of audit is going up. And this technology, we hope, can collaborate with service providers and the UCaaS offerings and make this a unified communications-centric solution to the way in which calls are being managed by merchants and their customers.
Show us how it works.
Okay. Let me
again.
go through it. Let me close this.
Yeah, I need that photo for my demo as well.
So, every merchant, there are millions of merchants around the world who have payment terminals, virtual payment terminals like this one. It's where they put the credit card details in to transact with clients. The difference about this particular implementation is the big blue button. This big blue button here is the simplest implementation of our CPaaS cloud. It's where in which we connect the telco cloud with the merchant facility. And by a single one button, we're able to secure the UCaaS phone call. So let me, DP's gone. So I was going to be forced to use WebEx calling to do this demo. So I've got that set up at the moment. This is my WebEx calling service back in Australia. Let me call my mobile here, an outbound call between my WebEx service in Australia and me as a merchant, me as a patient, let's say, who needs to now pay for my telehealth consult. So I've established a call between the merchant here in Australia and a customer who's a patient. This merchant, that's, for example, is a receptionist in a medical clinic who is chasing up a payment for a telehealth consult that's just occurred. So the idea now is that instead of just taking those card details before they're allowed to take those call details, those card details, they must secure the call first. So what I'll do, having logged into this application with using my WebEx credentials, simple single sign-on architecture, I can now secure this phone call as a merchant before I'm allowed to be able to take card details from the patient. We've gone through the motions of creating what we think is a very funky call flow to be able to now be given the right to put a few card details in, like the amount, the reference ID, and the name on the card. And here's the second change. Instead of the merchant now typing the card details into their payment terminal, the customer, just using the keypad on their mobile phone, is able to type their card details in by the conversation that I'm still having with the merchant. So I don't know whether you can hear the microphone here, but I've got a call up between the receptionist and the customer and the patient, and now the patient enters their details. And you can see their details are now masked to the merchant. So I'm just typing in my 16-digit credit card number and hit hash. The application is checking for legitimate application. I now put in my expiry date, and I'm putting my CVV as a customer. Now the merchant can confirm the transaction details, hasn't asked for any details, and submit the payment to the bank. And that's it. So we've been able to combine the networks, have the customer enter the detail, not the merchant, and in effect secure any phone call across any UCAS network, not those that are specifically confined to a call center environment. And that's it. That's the demo.
All right, so we're cueing the video for Braidio as the next one. Clark, what was your impression here on the BroadSource?
I mean, there's a few things I like. I'll say, you know, the mass market appeal, right? I mean, it's really a broad market. You can go after. It's using a lot of existing technologies, the APIs of the fintech side, the APIs of the telco side, just really being an integration tool there between them, right? Using the tools that are already there on the CPaaS side with authentication to know who you are and the communication link there. So I think I liked everything about it except at the very end. I thought you were going to maybe have a cool factor where you take a picture of the credit card and then reads the credit card and puts all that information in for the customer versus having to enter it in manually, right? It says, yeah. But I do like it's secure. The customer doesn't enter it, but if they didn't have to enter it, it'd be really fast and simple, right? Make the link, put the camera from the phone on it, and all of a sudden that information all uploads and you're done. You know, one more cool factor step there. So, but overall, yeah, I thought it was great.
Thanks, Bob. Thank you.
Hayden, I love the product. I think security is the future, or the future of CPaaS. I had a few clarification questions. So do you view this, I know you guys sell other solutions, so is this kind of a cross-sell, upsell type solutions that you see monetizing right away into your existing installed base, and can other UCaaS providers think of it as that type of product?
Yeah, certainly for us, we're privileged to be connected to a lot of UCaaS networks around the world, and thank you to our customers for that privilege. So it's kind of a launch pad for us to be able to help them, not just inside their networks, but let's work together external, outside the network. It's great. So we think we've got a great launch pad with our tech. We're privileged to connect to the call control of these networks. So this is an application that capitalizes on their call control analytics.
Are you able to mention any customer names?
We've unlocked a number of deals with our friends at Cisco and the WebEx calling side of things. We're working as a WebEx calling partner. We're coming across many opportunities to move customers to cloud with WebEx calling. One of the key criteria that we're finding in every single request is are these extensions PCI compliant? And so we're working with people like Corpus, who are a $200 million sort of membership company that look after the rewards program for a call. And they've got 570 people around Asia, 25 locations, that call their customers to renew their memberships every year. And every one of those calls needs to be PCI DSS compliant. And so our CPaaS application is sort of unlocking that WebEx calling deal, and we're applying secure calling across that.
Excellent. Excellent. All right.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you, Russell. All right, let's run the video for Braidio.
Hi, my name is Ian Sholnick. I'm the CEO of Braidio. We're a customer engagement platform using low code, no code, AI, and CPaaS. And we work with the mobile edge and communication service providers and CPaaS providers. We have a little video to show you of why I'm not here today, which is because we're launching a product, a massive product for SME marketplace, the SMB marketplace, which is about 90% of the world. Very exciting. Allows us to defragment the SME marketplace using mobile and CPaaS. And I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you very much. Hi, hope you enjoyed the video. It's exciting. It just is, because we're leveraging the stack. We're leveraging the network of the CSP players. We're leveraging CPaaS and CPaaS players. And we're leveraging what we're all good at, which is creativity, applications, to go after what we call the constellation of engagement. Excuse me. The constellation of engagement is huge. We've always been looking down into the network. And the perfect example is Zoom. Zoom's a great product. I'm using it right now. But Zoom for dentists and Zoom for accountants is the same thing. We need to verticalize. We need to go after all those engagement nodes and engagement opportunities, because it drives revenue and new growth. And nothing works better than CPaaS and working with our CSP partners. It's a massive user base of 4 billion plus. It's a massive red ocean. And we've defragmented it using mobile phones and CPaaS. If you need us, reach out to www.braidio.com. Again, I'm Ian Sholnick. I'm the CEO. Thanks for your time. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye.
Evan, you've worked a little bit with Braidio. Can you give us some thoughts about what you saw there?
Yeah, I'm impressed with the stack they built. Extremely open. They're leveraging public cloud. They're leveraging CPaaS infrastructure. And the model is to partner with the carrier. So I think the announcement into business was a partner. It's really direct through the middle. It's not trying to go around or underneath or over their quote unquote carrier partners, but right through it. So right from training and enablement to deployment and leveraging the network natively. I mean, they're right to the core, which is really interesting when Dave Michael's talking about Unique has version 3. I mean, this is like CPaaS version 3, kind of in the core of the network. So I think that's exciting. It's not Matt Jones. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. This is Adnan Salim from Radisys. I'm CTO Software and Cloud Solutions. We're going to do a quick introduction of our Engage Digital platform, which is a full end-to-end communications, applications development, testing, and deployment platform. It's being used by operators as well as enterprise players to create a multitude of different applications. And we'll give you a quick sampling of the type of applications that can be created using the Engage Digital platform. And then I'm going to do a quick demo of a live language translation, which was built using our platform. So the Engage Digital platform is the thing that you see in the middle there, on the right. It connects multiple devices, whether you are VSD and mobile device connecting in, whether you're a smart phone, cameras, sensors, IoT devices, anything that has events and or real-time audio and video, or digital endpoints in operator or in the enterprise can be deployed as part of creating applications. Once the application is created using the Engage Digital platform, it can be deployed on the same platform. The Engage Digital platform itself can be deployed fully in public cloud infrastructure. It already is deployed in AWS and Azure. It is all can be deployed inside the telecom operator's network, and it can also be deployed on-prem or in a private data center. So the red Engage Digital platform in the middle is a collection of virtual machines and containerized solutions that are packaged together, and developers can go and create applications using that, and it creates a whole bunch of digital experiences on the right-hand side, which includes not just speech and recognition, AI, machine learning technology, but also computer vision. So things like face recognition, motion detection, gender identification, object recognition, any of those complex things are built as part of the Engage Digital platform. The developer simply just has to use a visual design tool or the APIs that it provides. So as you'll see in the large collection of building blocks we provide, all the complexity of those building blocks are exposed and are very easy to consume for the developer. In fact, sometimes applications can be created absolutely zero code, and I'll show you exactly how zero code can be implemented by just through a visual design tool, drag and drop and connect that flow, and then deploy the application. The application can be deployed, as I mentioned, on the SDN, which I'm going to demonstrate today. SIP phones, WebRTCs built into it, so browsers and or WebRTC clients on mobile phones, SDKs for Android and iOS development as well. On the right-hand side, customers who use API, these are simple to use REST APIs, and SDKs that are for web and mobile developers. All the stuff in between are the complex things that you don't need to have a telecom engineer to build applications. You don't need a data scientist who knows a lot about machine learning to be able to go and create unique scenarios, be able to do language recognition or translation or natural language understanding kind of use cases. You use those building blocks, just simply use them through the APIs or the SDKs available. So I've got a quick little snapshot of what the drag and drop GUI looks like. So this is the portal where the developer will log into, and absolutely no code in this case. You drag and drop and connect, and you fill in what you want each one of these widgets to do. And you can define an entire call flow in literally a handful of minutes, or maybe it's more complex. Then it might take a little longer, but it's absolutely zero code because it's a visual drag and drop. The full capabilities are also available through a full set of rich APIs, REST APIs as well as SDKs, but the application developer needs a lot more control than maybe the visual design tool. So the application that I'm going to live demonstrate today is the one on the bottom left-hand side. My colleague, Jan, who's on the call, you can see him on the bottom right corner there. I'm going to call him, I'm going to speak in English, he speaks Mandarin, and we're going to have a live conversation. There's other applications just for reference that are being built using the engagement platform. Just a little sampling of that. On the top left is a virtual assistant. So instead of chatbots that show up on websites, what we've done is enable language understanding, video interaction instead of chatting with a chatbot. So as soon as that chatbot comes up, you will actually have either an avatar or an actual person's video, and they will talk to you as a virtual assistant in full natural language understanding both ways. So the virtual assistant is beyond just the chatbot texting. That's the thing on the left-hand side. As I mentioned, natural language understanding, conversational IR, computer vision, I mentioned. A lot of computer vision use cases around object recognition, scene detection, all those things are building blocks you drag and drop and create into the application based on video camera feeds that you want to ingest into your application. Call screening is another popular one these days. All the spam calls, won't get into that, won't get into that, but we'll actually get into the middle of the call and screen calls so we can read out most of the advanced spam calls. So without further ado, let me see if I can kind of give maybe some examples of the commercial relevance of this language translation app. As you can imagine, it's already becoming very popular within our own company. We just built it as a demo application, literally within a handful of days, end-to-end building, testing, deploying, which are going to demo today. People, our Japanese customers are saying, can we just use that internally because of language barriers? So for our customers, are using it for their contact center. Some governmental organizations want to use language translation for immigrant services. You can see healthcare scenarios and situations, travel and transportation, hospitality industry. So many use cases where language translation it becomes really important without having to do Google Translate back and forth text. So with that, what I'm going to do is bring up my WebRTC window here, and I'm going to maximize Young's video so you can actually see him at the same time. So on the left-hand side is we're using a WebRTC because it makes it easier, although I could literally pick up my phone and call Young as well, or any number, whether it's a PSTN number or a SIP client or WebRTC client. For the purpose of demo, I'm going to call Young's actual mobile number, which I have already listed here. And there's Young's phone, which you can see over there. And I'm going to speak in English. I don't know Chinese. And as you can see, the drop-down, we only listed a few little languages here, but essentially close to 100 different languages, any language to any language you can go. So here, we're going to, because Yang, my colleague, speaks Mandarin really well, so I'm going to call him using that. Hopefully the audio will go through properly. So I'm going to go and establish a call and just ask him a few questions. Okay.
Thanks for using Radisys real-time language translation service. We are waiting for the call person to pick up the phone and start the conversation. 您好，股票关于股东的自充量的及时翻译服务，请注意电话开始通话。您好，这里是中国签证申请服务中心，请问有什么可以帮到您 ？Hello, this is the Chinese Visa Application Service Center. How can I help you?
Hi, I would like to get a visa for travel to China. Would you be able to help with that?
您好，我想获得前往中国的签证，你能帮忙吗？当然可以。您需要旅游签证还是商务签证？ Sure. Do you need a tourist visa or a business visa?
I will need a tourist visa, please.
我需要旅游签证。好的，请带上您的护照，第2张带照片的身份证明和护照尺寸的照片。Okay, please bring your passport, second photo ID, and passport size photo.
Okay, thank you. How long will it take to get the Chinese visa?
好的。来到中国签签证需要多长时间？通常签证可以在5个工作日内完成。Usually the visa can be completed within 5 working days.
Okay, thank you. So what time is your office open?
好的。那么，你的办公室开门。我们的营业时间是周1至周5上午8点至下午6点。Our hours of operation are 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
好的。再见，希望能很快见到您。Goodbye and hope to see you soon.
，hang up. I'm like,
Mike, give us some thoughts.
I know no Chinese. I like the on the architecture. I think the use of more than just phones, devices, all of the variety of devices is quite interesting. You know, kiosks, cameras, the opportunity to kind of expand CPaaS. Most people think about voice only or voice and video and stuff. So that's pretty interesting. I think, you know, obviously quite useful when you're not trying to demo in front of the team. So, so thank you. Good job.
Clarification on whether this is in the market today, and who would be the ideal customer for this type of solution?
Yeah, so it's commercially available today. It's actually being trialed at a few of our customer sets, including service providers and also a governmental agency providing enterprise services to immigration services.
Okay.
As an example of use case.
Also, what's the deployment model? So with CPaaS, often it's cloud. Is this a cloud available system, or is this something that a CSP would need to deploy locally?
Yeah, so when we offer our Engage Digital platform, it's essentially a CPaaS platform. It's up to our customers to deploy at their choice of location. They can deploy in public cloud infrastructure, they can deploy it in their private data center, or they can literally deploy it on-prem. What we provide is a licensable set of software capabilities, which is a collection of containerized microservices packaged together that are readily consumable by customers. Also can be deployed and is being deployed for trial within operator networks itself.
Is Twilio or any of the larger CPaaS vendors doing anything like this? Because I mean, as an example, I can see an Uber embedding this in their application, you know, when you're traveling to different countries.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually, maybe Twilio is, but I haven't actually come across that yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody do live translation like that before in my life. Yeah. So that's pretty cool stuff. All right, thanks so much. All right, don't forget to update your app with your different category votes. And we will now turn the time over to Vonage. Sanjay, take it away.
All right. Well, this is going to be really awkward. I changed what we were going to demo kind of based on what I saw first. No. To something that just got demoed as well. So you got a tutorial in English Chinese. You're going to get a tutorial in English French. And so what I guess we as a community are super excited about how, by the way, sorry, Sanjay with Vonage, I've been with Vonage for 15 plus years, but been with the ecosystem here, including the CCA, for a lot longer. I know many of you. Thank you for giving us the opportunity here. Oh, we lost the screen again. Do I do the Windows trick? Yeah, have you rebooted the computer?
Sorry, did you help?
Yes. IT? I always get asked for IT help. Now I'm asking the other one. I don't know why that is. But you're going to try something? While he's trying. So, well, again, the main use case that we're talking about, something as simple as that. Nobody saw that. Nobody reported it. Back to Vonage, please. Is it a category for comedy? I win. So, again, the use case that when Kevin and I talk about this, you know, the world of CPaaS can be a mystery if you're selling it to the CPaaS buyers directly. So we thought that it would be, in terms of an intersection with the CCA, it would be more relevant for me to show how we can enhance UC and CC with CPaaS. So we chose the contact center platform. Of course, many of you are aware that Vonage delivers both UC, CC services, and is also, along with Twilio, the two largest CPaaS providers in the world. And so this demo, and it is a recording, right? It was just, I changed it last minute. you're going to see is how the CPaaS experience, or CCaaS experience, is changed with CPaaS. It is built on the Vonage API platform. The one thing that I always want to talk about when I talk about CPaaS is CPaaS. I think of CPaaS as Lego blocks, right? I, as a solution creator, developer, digital marketer, I'm going to use these Lego blocks to build something useful from an end service perspective. You brought up the example of Uber, or Uber would be a great example for driver-rider communication when they speak two different languages. This particular demonstration is more of a classic contact center. And the goal here is to show not necessarily the contact center itself, not necessarily the CRM, but how CPaaS is used to make something, to solve something in the real world, and not just an exercise in coding. Or today, not much coding, like the previous speaker said. This demo was put together over a weekend as a part of a hackathon, and then is wending its way into becoming a part of the project. That's how innovation works. And one of the greatest things about CPaaS, it lets anybody innovate. They don't have to be, graduated from the best school of computer science development type of folks. So, like I said, you just saw this, you're going to see it again. But the fundamental problem being solved is any caller, customer to any agent communication. This is a real problem. I don't know if you recently tried to order Domino's Pizza in the US. They are now giving you money to come to their store to pick it up because they just can't find or hire drivers. Same thing is happening in contact centers. In the past, there was plenty of capital to throw at hiring people so that a Spanish caller only speaks to Spanish agents, an English caller only speaks to English agents, French, Mandarin, and so on and so forth. But this is a real world problem for contact centers today. Great. So what we're doing here is enabling the Vonage Contact Center with real-time interpretation, we call it, but it's really transcription, because what I say gets transcribed, and then that transcription is translated to the other language. So those are the four features that are presented here. In addition, we do throw in something that is real in contact centers today. And this becomes even a bigger challenge if the caller and the agent and then the supervisor are in different languages. Maybe the caller and the agent are talking and they can hear each other, but a supervisor, after the fact or during the call, needs to know how is the call going. So sentiment analysis based on language A, language B, and the system, we're putting all of that together to real-time score the sentiment of the call. And then integration, all of this in isolation is useless unless it's part of a bigger package, and we demonstrate this inside Salesforce. I think I set it up mostly here, so we can, but the key thing I want to show here is, again, the power of CPaaS, right? Often we get wowed by the actual AI-based transcription and translation, which absolutely we should, because it's so good, it's in real time. But the more important part here that I want to show is all the things that can come together, or have to come together, and do come together very quickly in order to make this all possible. Again, all of this was put together over a weekend as part of an internal hackathon we did, and again, that's just how innovation happens. So we have a Karim speaking French and Agent Blake speaking English. In order to make this happen, these are the Vonage APIs. I won't read them all for you. All the APIs that are used, similar to the first demo you saw, payment over the phone, a real problem. Secure payment on the phone. I don't show that in this demo, but it's part of the overall flow. Contact center for call routing, of course, and then the CRM integration. And then I could have done this just with Vonage API and say, hey, Vonage is great. But again, the point about CPaaS here is how easy is it to integrate external services? Because some AI services might be better suited for some verticals, let's say medical, legal, etc. With that, let me switch to the demo. So now the call is coming to the agent. I gotta be able to show the screen because that's.
How can I help you? Bonjour, je suis vraiment contrarié. Je viens d'apprendre que mon vol d'aujourd'hui a été annulé et je dois replanifier mon voyage. Pouvez-vous m'aider à réserver un nouveau vol?
There it is, there it is. You got it.
Hello, I am really upset. I just found out that my flight today has been canceled and I need to reschedule my trip. Can you help me book a new flight? I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I can certainly help you find another flight. I have a economy at 12:15ish. Does that work for you? Je suis désolé pour la gêne occasionnée. Je veux certainement vous aider à trouver un autre vol. J'ai engagé une classe économique à 10 ans. Est-ce que cela fonctionne pour vous? Super, merci beaucoup. Avez-vous la possibilité de surclasser mon vol? Combien cela va me coûter?
So the bottom of the screen, you're seeing the sentiment of the call.
Absolutely. The first class ticket has an additional cost of $5,000 US.
Ooh la la.
The sentiment just went down.
Better get good entertainment on the flight.
C'est fantastique. Je vais prendre It's fantastic. I'm going to take the upgrade.
He's happy with it. He's doing it. Going forward.
The ticket has been changed. I will send you a text message with your new flight information after this call. Le billet a été modifié. Je vous enverrai un SMS avec de nouvelles informations de vol à cet appel. Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much. You are very welcome. Enjoy your flight. Bienvenue, profitez bien de votre vol.
So all of the content can be shared via SMS. You saw and unclick the WhatsApp. WhatsApp integration is also available. So that's again, the end of the demo, but the key things that you saw on the screen was, of course, the real-time transcription, translation, the quality of it. All of that is happening inside Salesforce. So all the conversation in both languages is being inserted into Salesforce records. And then in the bottom of the screen, you saw real-time sentiment analysis of the call, which started unpleasant and then turned pleasant despite the $5,000 upcharge. I guess they must serve champagne on that flight or something. But that's the demo.
All right. While we get some last judge comments, we want to put the results back up on the screen. Jordan, why don't you lead us off with some thoughts?
There's a shortage of mics here.
Okay, I think we're good now. Sanjay, we've come a long way since the days of Zeus.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, tell us, Gary.
Did he tell you to say that?
No, I got a good memory, I guess.
Zeus? Wow.
I think I really like this product. One clarification would be, you mentioned you guys have built it during a hackathon. So is it live yet, or is it?
It is live.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. I love the real-time multi-language transcription. I love that it does it verbally and also in messages, and you mentioned WhatsApp. So love the integration there. Salesforce is probably the most widely adopted CRM platform, so I understand kind of starting there, and then maybe we expand later on.
Yep.
But overall, I think starting in the call center, contact center is a great place. It's most applicable. You can monetize it. You're monetizing it now, I assume, but it's something that you could monetize tomorrow, and it's a huge addressable market for any really customer-facing application beyond the agent. So, bravo, I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you. only works with nice people.
Drop the mic.
This is my chance to call Sanjay back after all the text messages he sent me.
I do text my love.
Why does this work? In terms of the, like, you showed at the end kind of a what's up message out. In the middle of the interaction, are you able to kind of do multimodal? Like, if I was on the phone, I could text in, put some information in.
Yeah, again, because the conversation is being transcribed.
Yeah.
Now that you have the text, you can do so many things with it. As and when the text is being created, I can send it out to the customer, I can pop it up to the agent or a supervisor, sort of from a quality assurance perspective. The key thing is getting it into text form, and then, well, the world's your oyster kind of thing.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, thanks,
All
Simon.
right, thank you.
All right, we're up against the hour. Again, appreciate everyone's participation. If you'd like to learn more about the CPaaS space, we invite you to come visit us at cpaassaa.com with the CPaaS Acceleration Alliance. Thank you.